Is the market down? Yes. Am I buying currently to invest at the moment? No. In this particular video, I'm going to bear all on my thoughts on the sports cards market, and we have a SGC grading reveal. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. At the beginning of the video, I said I am not currently buying to invest in the sports cards market. Now, the reason behind that is, in short, I have over 200 cards at PSA, and I personally have never had the opportunity or been in the opportunity to say, like some of your other favorite YouTubers are. God, that sounds a bit cocky, doesn't it? Favorite YouTubers that you watch, or Instagram personalities, you may have seen frequently saying, I'm always buying, or always buying, that sort of thing. I'm sure a lot of people in the UK can resonate with this. I've never been in the opportunity, or never been in the, I never had the chance to say, I'm always buying. And the reason being is, I hope to have been. I started in the sports cards market in about 2019-20, which was kind of a great time to join it, but also probably not the best time to join it, because if you were in the sports cards market before and you sold off a lot of your cards in the 2019-20 hype, you would have done very, very well. Unfortunately, many people in the UK, as it's a relatively new hobby, such as myself, over here anyway, at least for the American sports cards that we have come to collect, bought in at the base card hype. So I was buying a lot of even NBA hoops base cards for players like Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic. And at the time, in 2019-20, the base cards were favoured by the market over the serial numbered cards or parallels. A lot of people, smart people maybe in the hobby, were recognising that this didn't actually make any sense whatsoever. And you also had some criminals, you could call them, pumping and dumping base cards into the market as well. Now, on top of that, all the cards that I was buying in 2019-20, all these base cards of basketball players, mainly basketball players, I probably didn't get into football until maybe 2021. I sent all the cards off to PSA. Now, my idea behind that was to have the cards back in about 3 months, buy cheap raw cards, and then sell them at a profit. Now, I wasn't investing heavily into sports cards at the time, but I was buying a lot. What I should have done is equate the amount of money that I purchased or put into sports cards and spent that on one card. So I kind of got into the habit of almost an addiction of buying base cards or small basketball cards on eBay, to the point where if I'd actually totaled up how much money I spent in that month, I could have actually got a decent card, and I could have already potentially got a graded card for that price, rather than buying, let's say, a job lot of 30 single cards to send them off to PSA to actually get sat at PSA for about 1.5 years, nearly 2 years. As many of you know, PSA had a ginormous backlog, and we couldn't actually get our cards back within the sensible time frame of 3 months. So that was an issue. I had a lot of money out with PSA that was just sat there. I didn't really want to go too crazy in just investing in more base cards and sending more stuff to PSA, because at that point I didn't really trust them. I obviously do know that they had a backlog, and I do know that the Pokemon market as well as the sports cards market seemed to boom at the same time, but it didn't seem like there was a lot of communication coming out of them. It didn't seem like they were doing anything to expand. And then obviously the news came out that they were sold, and Nat Turner, a private equity kind of investor type, bought them up. So after that, I started to collect football cards, and again, I sort of applied this same losing logic to sports cards as I did basketball cards, and I kind of invested in a lot of the wrong things. Sent more cards off to PSA, and what happens? A 2.5 year wait for PSA. Now, once I sent all the cards off to PSA and received them back, I probably made an 80% loss on almost all of the cards that I send off. One, I was just sending off the wrong cards, and two, the market had absolutely crashed from the sort of 2019 to 2021 prices that we saw. Now, this was kind of inevitable. If you had someone that was watching the sports cards market that was a seasoned investor, they'd probably tell you this seems crazy. If you'd look at the market before 2019, before the hype, you would have said this is almost the peak. Sell now and then maybe buy currently where we're at the moment. So that kind of it's a little bit long-winded, but that kind of explains why I've never quite been in the opportunity. I've never had the opportunity to say that I'm buying all the time, because I've always had stuff that's waiting out with PSA, which includes at the moment, I'm waiting for currently 200 cards. Finally, we're kind of at a point now where PSA are actually back to normal. They're keeping up with their turnaround times, and everyone's happy. So I've kind of had to give my head a little bit of a wobble recently, take not a complete step back from sports cards, but really kind of have a think about what is a good investment short term, what is a good investment long term, and what should I just stay away from. And so that's what I've been doing. I haven't really bought a lot at all recently. A couple of things that I've bought haven't really been with big price tags, well, in the last month anyway. And the idea is just to kind of wait until I get a big inventory back from PSA, and then I can do some selling at sports card shows, Instagram, that sort of thing, and then build up a bit of a bankroll to then put that money back into some sports cards, and then also take some money out for personal things, for things like moving into a new flat. I've got a new job in London coming up, so yeah, I've got things to pay for. I've got exciting new opportunities that are coming up, so a lot happens, and sometimes life gets in the way. So yeah, I appreciate there hasn't been too many videos coming out from me as of recent, but that is pretty much the reason why I haven't been doing a lot of pickups recently. The members have experienced content almost weekly, so if you want to be a member, check out the members page. But yeah, so I have had a few box breaks going over there. We hit a 1 of 1. Was it last week or the week before? Yeah, I think we've hit like 2-3 1 of 1s on that page now. So crazy, absolutely crazy. We've got another couple of boxes coming, Inception for the members, and also the Salzburg set, which looked quite cool. I was thinking about Topps Chrome Barcelona, but then I decided against it. I just thought, nah, I don't think that's going to hold value long term. Which is kind of the mentality that I'm thinking about at the moment, is just what's going to hold value long term. And I'm kind of really just sticking towards Topps Chrome. Serie A Select is very interesting because it's very limited. And things like Inception, Immaculate, those sorts of things. Just saving up as much money as I can and not spending loads of money on these team sets, and just saving it and waiting to get the more expensive sets. There we go. That's an update. I might cut some of that out because I've been talking for 10 minutes. But let's get into this card. So I'll give you kind of an idea of what this is. So this is actually from a package from Jim Sports Cards. Scissors aren't the right thing here. Let me get let's get a proper tool. So yeah, package from Jim Sports Cards. It's one SGC card. So SGC is obviously, I've still got PSA cards that went off in the same submission. SGC seems to have a quicker turnaround. Well, they do have a quicker turnaround from what I've experienced here than PSA. I think the PSA estimated times are maybe like another month, whereas SGC have come back already. And this was sent off in March of this year. So it is just one card. And if any of you have seen my PSA submission video, I think it's my most recent one, I had a Maradona 1986 sticker. Now, this is probably going to be for sort of a long-term investment, PC hold type card. It's a sort of card that's a pretty good one to sit on. And obviously in high grades, they're going to do really, really well. I don't know what an SGC 10 of this does, but this probably won't be. But I'd imagine it'd be pretty good. Now, the reason I sent it to PSA is I wanted to get it graded, of course, but unfortunately it came back as miscut. So Jim did have a look at it, and he said he confirmed it is slightly miscut. So rather than send it to PSA again and the same thing happened, we thought let's just send it to SGC, because PSA no longer grade miscut cards. They used to put a little brackets MC under the graded mark. However, SGC will, and they may just mark it as authentic, which I'm happy with, which obviously the card won't be valued a high amount. It'll pretty much probably be worth less than raw. I don't know, we'll see. So shout out to Jim. Hopefully they've graded it. Fingers crossed they've graded it. And actually, big shout out to SGC. I always go PSA. I'm a bit of a PSA obsessed. A bit of a PSA. I was going to say something beginning with H, but WH, but I don't want to swear on the channel. I'm a bit of a PSA fanboy. Let's go with that. PSA fanboy. And they've really upset me recently with their stickers and the slabs for the stickers where they rattle around. I don't know how we're still at this point now where PSA are putting stickers in a sleeve and then the stickers flying around all over the place. Like, come on. Like, level up. SGC have been doing it for ages, and PSA just can't get their act together. Sometimes it's so hard to be a fan of PSA. But here we go. So this is the Mexico 86 Maradona. Let's see what we got. Authentic. So we did think it was going to be authentic, and then now you can see it is miscut, which of course is not going to add any value. If anything, this is worth less than it is raw, because raw you could potentially get a grade. This obviously you can't. So yeah, it didn't get past SGC. That's fair enough, but it's definitely one for the PC. Now, unfortunately, this is one that I bought on eBay, and you know, sometimes this happens. There's no way you're going to look at this on eBay and measure it. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's definitely one for the PC. Obviously, I don't think too many people are going to be interested in this as a purchase. But thankfully, I did buy this when prices weren't astronomical. I don't think I paid less than 100 easy for this. So there we are. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. A couple of you said that you enjoyed the previous video where I was kind of just talking to the camera. So I thought I would kind of give you that experience and kind of a little bit of a background on where I'm at the moment currently, and why maybe you haven't seen as many videos from me. Card shows will still be as normal. I'm currently speaking with Pat Grip at the moment. Me and him seem to, well, we get along very well, and we frequent card shows together. So yeah, we've got the Edinburgh card show coming up soon. Frankfurt we're looking at for the NFL weekend, and then any others are yet to be confirmed, potentially. But there we are. Check out sportscardsweb.com, which I'm really enjoying writing articles for at the moment. The most recent article is an interview with Harry of HJA Cards, and you may know him from the Top Loaded podcast as well. We spoke about Cardvention 2, which was at the Hockenheim ring. So I asked him lots of questions, about 10 questions on how he found it. And if you're interested to see how that went, definitely check out sportscardsweb.com. Plus, there's many other articles on things that are happening in and around the hobby. And if you are interested in writing an article for sportscardsweb.com, follow the Insta and get in touch. There we are. Don't forget to subscribe, smash a like on the video. More videos coming soon, I promise. Check out the members site, and I'll see you on the next Sports Cards UK video. Thanks very much.